we're going to talk about basic SQL queries today. Okay, and the topic what we're going to cover today is how do you write simple queries. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about in the databases. We'll talk about what are the from clause, how do you write like a basic simple statement, and then we're going to talk about what kind of filters you can do, how can you do a filter, and then we're going to jump to the comparison operator. Okay, so we'll first start with little bit SQL, and then we'll jump next to more into the detail of how can you use comparators, how do you in and not. Now what is the basic structure of the select? The basic structure of the select is, when you write a select, you need to define first what is your database from which you're going to do select. So any of the thing you're doing here, you first have to say on which database you are doing, right? Anything. So if I open a new window, you will see this thing points to one database, right? In here. So always remember, whenever you're going to write a query, before you hit the execute of the query, you need to make sure you are running in the right database. Okay? And let's say it might be for you right now, it will be pointing to the master database. Okay? That's fine. Whenever you open new query window, it will point to master. What you have to do is, you have to point it to the AdventureWorks. So for our class purpose, we will be using AdventureWorks. Okay? So you will be having AdventureWorks and AdventureWorks view. So for now, we'll start with AdventureWorks. So every time you write a query, you have to make sure your query is pointing to AdventureWorks. So first, before writing any command, you make sure your database is correctly selected. Okay? So once you know you're pointing to the right database, okay. Now, once you know in which database you're running the query, the second thing would be, you will say in the select statement. So now in the select statement, the first thing is you say what are the columns you want to select. Okay. So if you want to select all the columns from your table, you will say select star. Okay. It means you want to select everything. Now, when you are selecting, you are saying star, you need to define from which table you want to select. So in the database, you have tables. So how your database is structured, if you open any of the database you have, AdventureWorks or AdventureWorks database, you will see a couple of folders in here. You will see tables, you will see views, you will see programmability, and you will see security, storage. Okay. Now, all your data storage is done in the tables. Okay. And to access the data from the tables, you write the queries. Okay. And then what you can do is you can save those queries on your SQL servers using different kind of objects. So the SQL query can be stored in the views or in the programmability. We're going to talk about, as we're going to proceed, how can you store the queries and those things. But all your data in the databases will be residing under the tables folder. And all these will be different objects that will be needed to access the data. Okay? Alright. So when you expand the tables, you're going to see all the tables you have in the system. Okay, in the database. Okay. So let's say what I want to do is, I want to see all the tables, all the columns from my database called AdventureWorks. So I'll say select star. Star is for selecting all the columns. Now, when you're saying on the AdventureWorks, give me all the columns, you need to say from which table you want to see, right? So the next line in the select statement is from clause, where you will say a table name. Okay? Where you will say a table name. Say select star from human resource .employee. Either you can drag and drop or you can start typing. Okay? Make sure you write correct name. Okay? If you write a wrong name, you're going to see the red lines underneath that. Okay? It means there's something wrong with it. As soon as you see, you need to make sure you're writing correct. So see, this database is a case sensitive. It's a case sensitive. So if you turn it to small e, it's going to give an error. Okay? Because that table exists, but it's just, if you try to run, so see, invalid object name human resources .employee. Why? The name is correct, but it's a case sensitive. Okay? Alright. So if I run a query now, when my name is correct, it will give me all the columns from all the data from the human resources.employee. Once you see all the data from the table, right? So this, if you go vertically, it's rows, and if you go horizontally, it's columns. Okay. So in here in the table you have employee ID, national ID number. All these are the columns of your table. Okay. And if I have to see how many records I have in the table is 290. It says right here. Okay. How long the query took to run is, this is the time. Okay. So you have, it took almost 8 seconds to run the query. Okay. And then in which database this query you ran, adventure was. Who is the user who ran the query? Okay. Alright. And this gives you information about your query time, how many records are there, and what's the database you ran into. Okay. Now, let's say if I want to see, if I don't want to see all the columns, I want to select only particular columns. How are you going to find out? So this is one way of you guys select star from human resource.employee and see how many columns are there. And otherwise, you can go on the right side. This is called as an object explorer. Okay. This is your query window. This is your object explorer, and all the tools regarding that you have on top of in here. Okay. So here is the execute. Here is the new query. Now, if you have multiple queries on the window, you don't want to hit execute directly. Right now it's fine because I have only one query. Okay. But let's say if I have multiple queries, you want to select the queries and then hit execute. Okay. So then it gives you only that particular query. If you don't select and hit execute, it's going to run everything that you have in the window. Okay. So sometimes you don't want to run everything. So make sure you select and then you run. Okay. So here you have an object explorer. When you go to the object explorer, what you can do is you can expand the table and you will see underneath the columns you have more folders. So if I want to see the columns, I will expand the column folder. All these columns, don't worry about it right now. We're going to talk when we're going to move forward. Okay. So when you see the column names, you will see all the columns are in the order you see it here. Employee ID, national ID number, contact ID, login ID, manager ID, title, birth date, okay, marital status in here, gender. So all the columns you have in here. If you want to see all the columns of your table, you don't have to run the query. You can just expand and see all the columns you have in the table. Okay. Now, let's say you don't want to see all the columns in your table. What you want to see is you only want to see specific columns in your table. What you can do is you can select particular columns. Think of the query in terms of when you return select star, it's going to retrieve too much data, right? Because you're selecting almost like 12 to 15 columns in here and 290 rows. And if you don't want to see everything, what you can do is instead of star, you can write columns that you want to see separated by comma. Okay. So let's say if I want to see employee ID, login ID and title. These are the only things I want to see. I'm going to say select employee ID. Okay. Then comma, login ID, comma, title. Okay. That's it. So if you want to see only 3 columns, you will run the query. Select employee ID, login ID, title from human resource employee. You select the query and you execute. See, it took very less time this time because you are seeing only a few portion of your data. So it took like, it ran in milliseconds. So when you do, so this is one way of, when you write a select statement, if you don't want to see everything, you can just select particular column that give you a little advantage of time, right? It takes less time. So this is the best way to write the query, right? Do not always put star in the query. Now let's see. If I don't select and if I do execute, it's going to run both the query. Let's run first this one and the second this one. Okay? So select and then execute. Now, if you see in here right now, what we did, we selected only a few columns in the select statement, right? But how many records you are getting when you run the query? Still the same number of records, right? Same number of rows, records, yeah, rows or records, right? So, we are getting same number of rows in the table. Now let's say, So when you want to filter, so this is your select and from clause. Now let's say you don't want to see everything. You only want to see certain employees. How do you do that? You don't want to go everything. So basically what you're doing is you want to do filter on your data. Right? You want to do filter on your data. How do you do filtering is on your apply filter on my column called title. So you can say where title is equals to, let's say I want to see all product technician. So you will say product technician is here, where title equals to product technician. I'm going to talk. So when I run the query, what you did is you filtered your data by production technician W350. So see now you're getting only 26 records. So what you do is, so when you have to filter the data, what you say is where clause, okay, for filtering the data, okay, for filter. So you say where title equals to production technician. Now, you see one thing. What I did is, when I'm writing the data of my table or my column value, I put a single quote around it. Okay, so always remember, whenever you are putting your data values, you have to put in a single quote. Okay. Now, if I ask you, can you give me all the employees who have their manager ID 3? How do you write the query? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say, select. Let's say if I want to see everything about them. So I will start and I will say the manager ID equals to, in single quotes, I'm going to put 3. So whenever you quote a data value, it's always a good practice to put in single quote. In some places you can avoid it, but I would say always put it's a good practice. Okay? So putting single quote is good practice. Okay? You can avoid it. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can avoid, sometimes you cannot. But it's a good practice. So here, I can write the same query like this, without single quote. Okay? If I write a query, I can write like this also. Okay? But if I try to do this one, it's not going to work. Okay? If I try to remove the single quotes from here, it's not going to work. You see, it all started getting an error. Okay? So, but for now, just keep in mind, always use single quote. We're going to talk about why not to use single quote later on. Okay? When you can use, when you cannot use. So if you have to do a filter, you can do a filter by putting manager ID equals to 3. Now, let's say, so SQL is very, very friendly language. Okay? What you see, you are going to put the things like that. Okay? So if I say, I want to filter data on manager ID 3. So what you said, I want to see is their manager ID equals to 3. So it's a simple conversion to English. Now if I ask you, can you give me all the employees whose employee ID is more than 150? How do you do that? So basically, we are getting into how can you do comparison operators. Okay? Comparison operators in SQL. Operators in SQL. Okay. Now, if I ask you, can you give me all the employees? So give me all the employees with all the columns whose employee ID is more than 150. How can you write it in English? So what you do is, you do a select star, right? You want to see all the columns, let's say, and you say from human resources.employee, okay? And then, do you want to see all the employees? No. If you don't want to see all the employees, you have to put a filter on employee column, right? Employee ID. And then I'm saying I want to see more than 150. So what does it mean? It means greater than, right? So you say all the employee ID greater than 150. Okay? So if I do this, I'm going to get all the employees whose employee ID is greater than 150. Okay? Alright. So when you did Greater than, did it include 150? No. If I ask you, give me all the employees who are employee ID is greater than or equals to 150. Okay? So when I ask more than, that query is correct. But if I say, I want you to include 150 as well. There are two ways. You can either say 149 in here. So what you do is, if I ask you to include 150, you will say greater than equals to 150. Right? So let's say you say greater than equals to 150. So see, it includes now 150 as well. If I ask you, give me all the employees who are employee ID less than 150. How do you do that? You just put a less than sign. Yes, that's correct. So if I do, I'm going to get all the employee ID less than 150. Now this one won't include 150, right? If I ask you to include 150 as well, what you're going to do, you put equals to, right? Okay. Now let's do the same thing with the date as well. How can you give me all the employees who are born after who were born in or after 1967? How do you do that? Who were born after 1967. So what you can do is, for now, we don't know functions in SQL. So the best way for you, what would be their first birth date? Who would be the first person that we can include after 1967? His birth date would be either greater than 1st January of 1968 or equals to, right? Right? So what I can do is, I can say the birth date is greater than or equals to 1968-01-01, right? Because I said who born after 1967. So I don't want to include 1967. So the 1967 will end in December and the first date after will be 1968. So we want to see all the employees who born after 1967, right? These will be all the employees who born after. Okay? Alright, you see only 160 records. Okay. So is it, you're getting hang of how can you write simple operators in the SQL? Right?
Yes.
Alright. So now let's say, so we have seen less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. How can you do? I want to see all the employees who are not male. How do you do that? So let's say gender, you have different status like T, M, S. So I want you to see, give me all the genders who are not male. How do you do not? So in the SQL, what you can do is, when you have to write not, there is in where gender not equals to, where gender not equals to male, right? If I do that, I will be getting only those employees other than male. You see, I'm getting only SQL records. So it might be all except males are in here. Okay? Equals to, yes. It's not equals to. Or what you can do is, if you don't want to confuse, there are two signs for not equals to. Either this one or you can use exclamation mark and equal to. Okay? So it says not equal to. Okay? Just the same, 84 spots. So you can use either of them. Okay? Not equal to. Okay? Okay. So now, so all the comparison operators are clear: equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than, equal to. So you can apply on any of the columns you have. Okay. Just don't forget about putting a single quote. Okay. Alright. So this is like a very basic how do you use the comparison operator. Now if I ask you, I want to see all the employee IDs, all the employees whose manager ID is 3, 21 and 38. How do you do that? I want to see all the managers whose ID is 3, 21 and 38. How can you do that? So what you can do is you can say manager ID. Can you write like this? Manager ID equals to 2, 21, 38. No, you cannot do it. Why? Because this equals to is a singular and it can take only one value. You cannot define more than one value in equals to. Okay? So equals to is singular. Now what is the plural for equals to? Is in. Okay? So when you do in, you put all the values of in a round bracket. Okay? So I'm saying, give me all the manager IDs, give me all the employees whose manager ID is 2, 21 and 38. Okay? So what you're getting? You're getting all the employees. So these are all the employees whose manager are 21, 38 and 21, right? Yes. Yes. So all the values will be comma separated and it will be put in the round bracket and you use the in. You cannot use equal to, okay? It's a singular. Okay? And in is a multiple. Plural. Okay? Now, you use the in for the plural. Now let's say if I ask you, can you give me all the employees except whose manager ID is 2, 21 and 38. How do you do it? Now I want to do just other way. I don't want to include all these employees whose manager ID is 2, 21, 38. How do you do it? Yes, plural of not equal to. And what is the singular for equal to? A plural for equal to? In. Right? So not equal to will be not in. Okay? Yeah. Right? So what you can do is, you can just say not in. That's it. And it will give you, so right now if you're getting 34, you will be getting 290 minus 34. 255. Okay? Not in 220 minus 38. Okay? So you'll be getting all the employees except 220 minus 38. Alright? So, is it when you have to use except, when you don't want to, when you want to use not equal to, it will be not in. Okay? For a plural. Okay? Alright. Now, if the other way of writing a query is where manager ID equals to 2 or manager ID equals to 21 or manager ID equals to 38. Right? That's what you are saying? Yeah? Okay. Yep, that's also correct. So if I run this query, I'm going to get same number of records. Okay. So you can write either this way also. Okay. Alright. So this introduces the concept of how to use OR in SQL queries. So if you know what is the difference between AND and OR, you can start using AND and OR also. So AND and OR is usually used when you have more than one condition. Right? Here you have more than one condition. You want either manager ID equals to 2, 21 or 38. Can you use AND in here? If you do AND, what's going to happen? Yeah, all the conditions have to be met. Yeah. And would it be possible for a one employee to have three managers? 2, 21 and 38? No. Right? Because in here, for one employee, you can have only one value. So that's not possible. So AND would not be right way to write, okay, in this scenario. Perfect. So you know difference between AND and OR and how can you use it in SQL. Okay, good. Now let's say if I ask you, can you give me all the employees whose manager ID is in between, or I want to select a range. I don't want to see all. I want to see all the employees for employee ID between 50 and 150. How do you do that? In the SQL, you have command called between. That's the one way. Can you think any other way? If you want to see all the employees between 50 and 150?
Yeah, that's the range. Like that's greater than 150, greater than 50 and less than 150.
So I'm gonna say like this: where employee ID and perfect. So you know where to use and as well. Good. So you say where employee ID is less than or equal to 150. Right, so you're going to get all the employee between this. Okay. Perfect. Very good. So you're getting all the employees who are between that ID. Now you can do all their combinations. Include 50, exclude 50, exclude 150, include 50, exclude 150, right? You can play around with the combinations.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So, you do. So another way of writing this, so you see like, in here, if I have, so why I was saying that this won't be a good idea to write like this, because if I ask you 14 different values, you have to write this clause 14 times. So this would be a better idea, right? So the same way, even here, when I say, okay, give me employee ID between 50 and 150, you have to write the same column 2 times, right? So what you can do is, if you have the range, and you want to include both sides, okay, you want to include both the lower range and the higher range, you can use between, okay? You can use between. But if you have to exclude the lower and the higher range, then you cannot use the between, okay? So you have to use the employee ID greater than 50 and employee ID less than 150, okay? So but if you want to include both the ranges, both lower limit and upper limit, you can say between 50 and 150. Okay? But in the query, yes. What we have seen, how can you use between, in, not in? Okay. Now, let's say, you're presenting this data, let's say, so let's say you're doing a presentation of your data to certain employees of company, okay? And they are non-technical. They don't understand what those are, okay? So, if your manager asks you, how can you, so let's say they don't understand what the employee ID is, okay? How can you, so let's say your manager says, I don't want to see employee ID in here. I don't want to see a login ID in here, and I don't want to see a title. I want some meaningful name. I want some business news in here. How can you do that? Is you can alias the column. It won't change. So alias is, it won't change the column name, but it will alias of the representation. Okay, so it will show different, but it doesn't change anything on the table side. So in here, it's an employee ID. It won't be changed on the table. It will be just changed when the representation is done. Okay? So, when you say, so let's say your manager says, instead of employee ID, they want to show as employee number. Okay? So, alias always write in a square bracket. Okay? Always. Always a good practice. Good practice, yes. Always write in square bracket. There are sometimes you can avoid it, but I don't want to right now get into where you can avoid it when you cannot. Always, use best practices. I mean, there are things you can avoid those things, but then you have to make sure you're writing query correctly, and then you won't be following the good practices in the SQL. Okay? So it's always a good practice to include square bracket. Okay? So when you say as employee number, what you do is when you run the query, the representation of employee ID will be as an employee number. Okay? Now let's say instead of login ID, they say they want to represent this as you're doing an alias for the column as a login person. Okay? And then for the title, they want as a title. That's okay. When you run the query, you're going to get the employee number, the login person, and their title. Okay? So you see, the name got alias. Alias means giving a mask name or a different name. Okay? So it's done only for the representation purpose. It's not changed on your table or anywhere in the database. Okay?